there's a scene where the Covenant like lady is like talking to Audrey and like giving her like telling her what to do, and she's like, you want to go to this house, you want to take an item that belonged to the boy, and perform this ritualistic ceremony. So she goes and does that, and it's like that ceremony is kind of like sliced in with like just weird behavior from Bridget, and like Calm's just basically like trying to figure out what is going on. And then we wake up the next morning with Bridget, and she's got like dirt all over her face, like she had just been like basically almost like being an animal the night before.
Mm-hmm.
And so my theory is that she basically was going to have them repeat the process of raising the son and then losing him all over again. Because that's like slow, torturous agony, but that's kind of what I thought about the ending.
I think that could be a possibility for sure, but again, it was vague enough to where there are several conclusions that could be drawn from it. So
yes.
I do like some questions answered, but again, like what Rosa was saying earlier, sometimes not knowing gives a lot of flavor, a lot of context, because we it's up to our own interpretation. I think that's why horror as a movie works pretty well, but even better is horror in books, like, because it's up to our own imagination. And I feel like what scares us the most will come out when we're reading books and what we're interpreting from just simple text. So yeah, I do like how some things you can interpret it and it be more terrifying for you versus for somebody else.
And I'm almost kind of like, we didn't even really touch on this, but like the very last shot of the movie is this aerial shot that is sweeping throughout the land, and it is just starting to like slowly fade, and it's the more it fades, the more it reveals Audrey's face.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I really think that she had something like heavily to do with that birth, and the fact that they might be raising her successor, or that she might have even given birth to like maybe a demon. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, also, I'm so, oh my God, I'm so dark. You remember that scene where she goes to get a sheep or something like that, and then she is found sitting down in the chair, and then inside the crib there is, I don't know if it's the insides of the sheep or it's the sheep itself or something like that. Maybe something like that came out of her.
That would make a lot of sense, because the religion of Wiccan, and even I want to say Satanism to a certain degree, like they have a lot of spiritual deities and figures that revolve around a lot of like sheeps and goats. So that would make sense if that could have been a possibility. That is quite a disturbing scene too, by the way. I kind of forgot about that scene until like we actually got there, and she's just like holding this like little sheep in her like all swaddled up in her lap and smiling so creepily, and then the camera just slowly pans over to this sacrificed lamb.
Yeah. I mean, it was like, again, like one of the first things I brought up about the movie was just, I don't know about the budget, but it was like a very independent film, so I can't imagine the budget was very much. But for what they accomplished, like with this, those visual effects, the makeup, everything, like that was just stunning. And like the goat scene, like, it's very realistic. Like, it's, yeah, I'm very much a queasy person. That one got me.
The anti-feminist thing I'm not particularly fond of, and when you do try to walk away from darkness or witchcraft and all that, you're considered weak. So either way, you're screwed as a woman. Other than that, no.
I mean, kind of jumping off of that real quick, I have this strange fascination with psychology and understanding why people believe why they believe. So I've done a lot of research into the occult, and I would argue that it takes more strength to walk away from a cult than it actually means to remain into it. Because, I mean, most cults are going to excommunicate you, or most religions, if, you know, they operate in such manners, they're going to excommunicate you. And so in their eyes, you're weak. But I would say that sometimes the mental anguish and abuse that it takes to stay in, it takes more strength to walk out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like another movie that I watched recently. I don't know if y'all have ever seen it, but it's Marcy May Marlene, and that's basically the whole premise of the movie, like of the strength of leaving a cult and kind of the lasting effects of that. It's so good. It's a little bit of a slow burn, but yeah, if you're interested in what that looks like, I think they did a pretty good job.
I'll have to check that one out because that sounds right up my alley. But something that I am hoping is going to be up listeners' alleys is thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of Victims and Villains. But you guys should, now that you guys have finished this one, you need more podcasts. Rosa, where can people find more about the Latinx-lens podcast?
Yes, we are on every podcast platform. Latinx-lens. We do have a few episodes out there. We'll be recording actually our newest episode shortly in a few hours today, where we're going to be reviewing films and the newly released movies. So yeah, go check us out. Also follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Latinx-lens.
All right. Well, Mark, where can people follow you online?
On Twitter and Instagram, you can find me at Pumpy Skunk, so at PUMPY Skunk, and then on Letterboxd MP Tauntaun, so TAUNTAUN.
I gotta follow you on Letterboxd now. You guys can follow us everywhere at Victims and Villains. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and Letterboxd, and you guys can go to victimsandvillains.net where you guys can find more episodes like this, suicide prevention resources, reviews from Mark, myself, and a plethora of other fantastic writers, all of which you guys can currently find in the links for wherever you guys are currently listening or streaming this episode. And until next time, remember to keep talking nerd, talking hope, speaking nothing else, and always remain spooky.